Well, definitely that was a wonderful one coming from Sunshine Queens. And of course, we were able to get something out of that. Well, the governor actually had a dinner for them yesterday. And at the end of the day, rewarded them with some money, promising that he would definitely want to support them. So it simply means going of salaries and all that. That's what most of
I hear that the ladies are saying 500K is small. You know, we've done so much for Ondo State.
Yeah, they wanted more, right? Okay, just take the one that you have and just be happy to the one that you have. Of course, that's more important, right?
Guys in Taraba will take this one if they see it.
In fact, those are ones you see 100K right now. Don't grab it. Okay, well, joining us now to talk about this and, of course, some other issues coming from the Nigerians women's football. It's Olayinka Olawale. He's a women's football advocate. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Cecilia. It's nice to be on the show once more again.
Good to have you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah.
There's so much going on with women's football in Nigeria. Before we come to the Sunshine Queens talk and the governor rewarding them, in 2015, how can you describe women's football in Nigeria?
Well, if you ask me to describe that, I'm going to say kind of disappointing, up and down, I must confess, looking at the fact that the Super Falcons, didn't qualify for the Rio 2016 Olympics. If you remember also, they didn't also qualify for the last one in London in 2012, so it's kind of disappointing. But if you look at the hopes of this year, you look at the fact that the team, the under 20, qualified, for the World Cup next time, Papua New Guinea, and the under-17 team that's talking about the Flamingos are also looking forward to qualifying for the World Cup in Jordan next year. But also the league has also improved a bit, from what we used to see previously. We had the Super 6 in Umaya some weeks back. It was good enough, but not really good enough. I think they still need to improve on it. A lot of things, but I think generally it has been fair, I must confess, fair. And also the Super Falcons without no coach, for almost 4 months now or so. So I think it's very, very sad. I think the NFF are not taking women football seriously like their male counterpart.
Wow.
So we're just trying to see ways we can develop women's football in Nigeria. Will you agree, Olayinka, that what we're seeing right now with the Super Falcons is a reflection of what's going on in the league?
Well, I don't know about that. I can't really say in particular. But what I believe is that many other African countries are also improving in the world of female football. Back in the days, we only had Ghana, competing with us. Then there came Cameroon. Sometimes South Africa also came in. Yeah. But this time around, we have so many of them. And people should watch out for Namibia national team also. They are coming up very, very strong. No wonder they hosted the last African Cup of Nations that is talking about the women category. And also Equatorial Guinea giving us a big fight. Stopped us from qualifying for the Olympics in Brazil next year. So I think the main problem is that we are not improving. We are not putting enough into women football. Yes, you can say it. We are not saying that women football should be treated equally with the male football. We cannot compare the two of them, I must confess. But they should be treated fairly. No sponsorship for the league for how many years now? Only God knows. Nobody's saying anything about it, and the person in charge is not doing enough to find sponsorship for the league. It's very, very sad, I must confess. So I think other teams are also growing in female football. We can't wait. We are stagnant. And once we are stagnant, other teams are passing us by. They're catching up with us. They're passing us by. We have to be serious about this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, it seems you're placing the blame squarely on the table of the NFF.
Yes, definitely. I would say that. I think the NFF should be blamed for this. If you look at the Namibian national team, a very small country, but they've invested solely into female football. And I can tell you the grant that was given to the women football in Namibia this year we're talking about almost $1 million just to promote football in Namibia, female football in Namibia. None can be said about that. If you ask the chairperson of the Nigeria Women Federation, that is talking about Madam Dili Shuku, she always tell you that the NFF did not give her 1 kobo for the league. That most of the money that they used to organize the league was gotten from the clubs, because the club has to pay some money for the league to go on. Yeah. So I think that is one of the excuses she's giving. But we are not saying that. We know there's no money in female football. But what we are trying to say is that if there's proper organization, at the last Super 6 competition, imagine the winner, that's talking about Rivers Angels, did not receive a medal. None of the players received any medal. That is sad. We're talking about the league. no medal.
So we're not even
just
talking
the
money
cup.
here, we're talking the
Yeah,
medal.
It's very, very
I'm going
sad.
to come to that because I remember when we spoke with Delichuku on the program before the Super 6 started, she said a whole lot of stuff, how the players were going to get some money, leverage in terms of accommodation and all that, what they've spent, and the league will try to give them something. They were actually waiting on the state government from that particular state hosting them to actually, give them something. But at the end of the day, nothing came out of it because most of the players were saying they didn't really get much from, from the league board and, of course, from the government. Now, the question I want to ask you is there a better way we can actually organize the Super 6 and, of course, the league to ensure that at least it will attract some sponsorship?
Last season, this concluded season was an abridged league because of there was no time, you know what I'm saying. So I think, but, for the Super 6, for how we can really organize the league to be one of the best, probably Nigerian league, female league is the best in Africa. I am sure about that. But how can we improve? How can we improve the welfare of the players? Yes, the government is saying they are broke. Most of the clubs are owned by government and they can't pay salaries and stuff like that, just like in the main counterpart also. But in a situation whereby the winner of the Super 6 collected 200,000 naira, the second place collected, second team that's talking about Bayelsa Queens received just 150,000 naira, and the third place team, Nasara Amazon, received just 100,000 naira for a league. So where did the sponsorship money go to? You ask yourself. No, they did not give any club money for accommodation. Nobody should say that here. They did not give. Nobody received 10 kobo for accommodation. All the teams paid accommodation by themselves. Nobody gave them a kobo for accommodation. The only money that was given was the prize money for Rivers Angels was 200,000 naira. Second place, 150,000 naira. Third place, 100,000 naira. That's Nasara Amazon. What I'm trying to say here is that we know that the league can improve, and purely with sponsorship. We can get sponsorship. We are African champions. We've won it so many times. So why can't we sell that brand out? The Nigerian Premier League, that's talking about the main category, had no sponsorship. Had no sponsor for some time. But Glo came in big time. MTN and Glo both were fighting for that for the sponsorship. Same thing can happen in the Women League. We have good players. We have the best players in Africa. We talk about some players, Asisat Oshola and the rest. They are very, very good at doing it for us in the world, up there. So I think we can sell the league. We can walk up to private companies and sell the league, and we can get sponsorship. That is very, very easy to do, I must confess.
Do you think we're underrating the potentials in the league? Because you've just started calling names that actually came out of the league, and at this stage, the league is still where it is. Aside just selling this league, what does club owners, the state government, even sports council, what role do they have to play? Because we cannot wait for the government forever. What role do they have to play to develop women's football?
Well, the role is very, very easy. You roll up, some people just roll up a club out there without planning ahead. No welfare. You're not thinking about how you can pay salaries of the players. If you promise a player 5 naira, and then before the beginning of the season, you have to be able to pay that 5 naira. If that is what you can afford, do not promise a player 5 million naira. Do not promise a player 10 naira, and you cannot pay. At the end of the day, start owing players. I think that is for the case of the club owners. Now, for the organizers of the league, which is the Nigerian Women Football League Board, they should, just like somebody said, if it is only 10 teams that can compete in the league, and those 10 teams can pay salaries of their players, have good stadiums to use and stuff like that, they should go ahead. We shouldn't bring in 16 teams up because of the league has to be. This is the female league. We're just growing. 8 teams, 10 teams can do for the league, and that is what I think the board should do. But above all, we're talking about sponsorship for this league. Yeah. If there's no sponsorship, nothing can go. Remember, 3 seasons ago, when there was no sponsorship for the Nigerian Premier League, the male category, it was very, very bad. But now, the winner is getting as much as 30 million naira. That is whopping. That is a whopping amount of money. Same thing can also happen in the Women League. I'll just say something. The election is coming up very soon. We have 3 main contenders for the chairperson of the Nigerian Women League Board. The 3 main contenders, as of now, we're talking about Aisha Falode, you know her, a top sport journalist, Also, the present chairperson that's talking about Madam Dili Wanshuku, and also have somebody from Bayelsa Queens, who is the secretary of Bayelsa Queens, former Super Falcons player, that's talking about Ruth Etebu. These 3 are the main contenders for now. So each of them have come up with their plans, and Aisha Falode has promised that if she wins, she's going to bring definitely the first season as the chairperson, she's going to bring a sponsor to the league. That is her promise. And also, Ruth Etebu is also promising the same thing. So I think Dili Shuko have been there for more than 3 years now, and she has not been able to give us a sponsorship. A sponsor.
There's none at all for the league. No sponsor.
No sponsor. No sponsor.
No.
You know, not even no sponsorship at all. Wow. Nothing. It's sad.
Oh my God! So that's it. We'll just read 2 messages. Our director can just throw that up. But before that comes on your screen, let's go to Twitter. Iwata Ibio is saying, "I can't believe we are paying a team $500 for coming third in the Super League. That is simply ridiculous. It's 500,000 naira that the state government, Ondo state government, gave to each member of Sunshine Queens for winning the Federation Cup. But you're mixing it up, saying it's simply ridiculous. It's not $500. It's 500,000 naira. So let's just quickly run through these messages we got via email. Tosin is talking. He says, "I'm a die-hard Chelsea fan, and I feel some players need to leave. For example, Costa, Ivanovic, Falcao, Remy, and I don't mind selling Hazard for a very good price too. The attitude to the game has been poor. We need fresh leg and a new burst of energy." He says it's a dire Chelsea fan.
Okay, this one is coming from Lawrence Uwaru. He says, "Coach Siasia has shown how limited his coaching skills could take him. After watching Egypt run rings against our boys, and we could see that Coach Siasia needs to go back to classroom. Our boys are good tactically, but poor from our bench. If our bench can't find answers to the poor team coordination, then we should just pack our bags and return home." Lawrence, that is harsh. Tayo, take the next one.
That's a bit over the top.
Over the top, coming from Lawrence. Yeah.
Another one from Segilola Tosin saying it's all about the under-23 side. Are those players the best we can select for the competition? They play like they have nothing to lose. They defend like they don't even train. It's annoying. When Osimhen is only introduced late in the games, that guy has what it takes to lead the attack. But that's what the coach will say. The coach is with them in training, and if he feels Osimhen still has to play a substitute role, then